Well, when is this over? I say, personal opinion, it's over when we have a vaccine. It's over when people know I'm 100% safe and I don't have to worry about this. When does that happen? When we have a vaccine. When do we have a vaccine? 12 to 18 months. Who determines that? The federal government has to test the vaccine, FDA. It's a big gap, 12 to 18 months, yes. I say the sooner the better. Anything we can do to work with the federal government to get the vaccine done faster, we are all in. You want to use New York State as a laboratory? We are ready, willing, and able. Any way the New York State Department of Health can work with the FDA to reduce that testing period, we are all in and energized and creative and ambitious about it. So anything we can do to accelerate that vaccine, we will do. You need a place to test it in large numbers. Think of New York. But that's the ultimate end, right? We have a vaccine. Now we don't have to worry about this. By the way, we'll probably have to worry about the next public health risk at that time. So don't forget everything we learned. Besides the vaccine, there's a possibility that they develop a medical treatment. So we can't prevent you from getting the virus, but we have a new medical treatment. And if you get the virus, don't worry, it's no big deal. You go and you get this medical treatment. That's another way of having a natural end, right? And that's what convalescent plasma is all about, and the antibody testing to find people who had the antibody and then injecting the antibody into a person as a treatment method. Maybe the hydroxychloroquine works. Now, this has been a very politicized topic. I have done my best to stay 100 miles away from politics in all of this. Everybody wants to see hydroxychloroquine work. Everybody. Well, the president says he believes it works, but he's not a doctor. You're right. He says he believes it works, but he's not a doctor. Find out. Find out. And everyone hopes that it works. And anything New York can do to test it, we will. We are now testing hydroxychloroquine. There are a number of hospitals that are doing it. It's not a government decision. It's not a political decision. The medical doctor decides. And if a medical doctor decides it works, fine. We have an executive order that limits the prescription of hydroxychloroquine only because we don't have enough. And there was such a demand on it that people who needed it and were using it can't get it. So if the federal government sends us more, we will dispense more. It's a pure supply side issue. Or maybe they develop another drug that they figure out has an effect. That could happen between now and the vaccine, and we all pray that it does. But until you have the vaccine, until you have the medical treatment, what do? How are you building the bridge? Well, it's going to be a phased reopening, right? And during the phased reopening, the priority is make sure you do no harm and keep your eye on the public health issue. That is what is key in all of this. So it's going to be a calibration of reopening based on public health safety and that infection rate, because what we have done and the reducing of the infection rate is a pure function of what New Yorkers have done and what people across the country have done. When you relax that social distancing, you could very well see an increase in the infection rate. So it's all a calibration to the public health, but it's going to be a gradual increasing of economic activity in calibration with the public health standards. The single best tool to doing this gauging, right, is large-scale testing. Test, trace, and isolate. This is what everybody's talking about. What does this mean? It means you test, you find a positive, you trace back who they were with, where they were, test those people, and you isolate the people who are positive.